Let's have a chat. We want to have a chat about food shortages and whether we think one's coming or not. To be honest with you, I have no idea if there's going to be a food shortage in 2020. I know that our farmers suffered a lot of weather-related issues last year. They had late freezes, they had early freezes, they had a lot of rain and flooding, and that affected so many crops, including our wheat and potatoes and sugar. So all those things were affected. My husband and I, we don't consider ourselves preppers, but we do consider ourselves being prepared. And some of the ways that we have gotten prepared is we have gone out to emergency essentials, and we have purchased just things that we think would make us more comfortable knowing that we had in our pantry back there in the event that there was any kind of shortage, any kind of uproar in the world. You know, things are topsy-turvy right now, and we just really don't know what's going to happen. So let's talk about some things that you and your family can do to make yourselves more comfortable, to know that you will have good food on hand in the event of any kind of national emergency, any kind of food shortage due to the farmland being flooded. So a couple of things. What I want to start off with is, if you've been following my channel for any amount of time, you know that I'm a gardener, and I do my own canning and I do my own freezing, and that would be first and foremost that I would tell you guys that you needed to do. If you can get a garden going and start growing the things that you and your family like to eat, you're going to get way ahead of the game. What I want to emphasize to you is that you want to have non-GMO seeds and you want to have heirloom seeds, because if you buy your generic seeds over the counter and they're GMO, then you cannot harvest your seeds after you harvest your plants and your fruits. You want to make sure and have a good seed source and your own seeds on hand. We use Everwild Farms, which is a native company that has heirloom vegetable seeds. They're GMO free, and we can use and harvest the seeds from whatever we grow in our garden this spring. So another thing that we do is, again, we go to emergency essentials and we buy things that we think is going to make us more comfortable, that's going to be nutritious, that's going to have high calorie content, just in case. And the worst case scenario for us is if nothing happens, we'll be eating this in our retirement years in about 7 years, and I don't mind that one bit. But let me tell you some of the things that we stock up on. We get carrots and broccoli, and we get potatoes. We also have dehydrated diced potatoes back there. We keep dry milk on hand. We've got a biscuit mix, red beans and rice, big thing, you know that they are. But we have chosen to go ahead and get them in the emergency essentials, because when we have tried to dry can our beans, they just didn't seem to last or be fresh. So we have gone this route. Most of these cans are good for 25 to 30 years. Again, worst case scenario, if nothing happens, we'll be eating it in our retirement years, and I'm just fine with that. But we are ready in the event of any kind of emergency. Another couple of things that we tend to stock up on are meats, high protein foods. We have sardines, Spam, we do the hams, we have the Yoder's bacon. This is quite pricey, but when you open it up, this is several meals. And if you had quite a few people in your home, you'd be just fine with just one can of this bacon. We also do our own canning. As I stated, we have our carrots, our beets, we have pickles, we have green beans, we have potatoes, we have stews, we have soups. I've made videos on all of those. You can go back and check it out and see if it's something you want to start canning for you and your family. We also buy ground beef in the can. This is good in a pinch in case we have no electricity and our food goes bad out of the freezers. We buy comfort foods like peanuts. We have peanut butter. We have peanut butter powder. We keep candy on hand. We keep dry beans. We keep rice on hand, white rice. Again, these cans will all last 25 to 30 years, and that's what we want. We want to make sure that we have it back there no matter what, and we don't want to worry about it spoiling, and I'm not worried about it spoiling. Again, we will eat this in our retirement years, but you want to get some things in your pantry that maybe can feed you and your family for 30 to 60 days, and a lot of this is tons of servings. But again, you need to be careful as you're picking out what it is you want to eat and what it is you want to store, is that you make sure you have enough calorie content for each of your family members, which is 1,500 to 2,000 calories a day is what I would say. We also have some of the soups back there. We have canned cookies. We have canned crackers. So anything that I feel like I'm going to want in the event of an emergency, I have prepared back there. Again, I don't know if I would consider us a prepper. I would just say I'm prepared, and I'm okay with that. We're not off grid. We don't have livestock or anything like that, but we are prepared to take care of us and all of our family members should something happen, and you should be too. Again, is a food shortage coming? I have no idea if a food shortage is coming. I know that I've done what I needed to do to take care of me and my family, and I'm going to leave the rest up to the Lord and let Him guide me on what other preparations we need to make. So anyway, we wanted to just touch base with you guys on this because I am seeing some videos out there, and sometimes they stir a little bit of fear, and maybe rightly so. Maybe they should stir some fear in you, and maybe you should take responsibility for your food source and for what you're prepared to take on, because I know that in the event of any civil unrest or any kind of political issue, any kind of drought, any kind of farming issues in the Midwest, and if they're, heaven forbid, your grocery stores are unable to keep things on the shelf, you want to make sure you have it on hand for yourself, because it's my understanding that in the event of one of these emergencies, the stores will be stripped, a day, 3 days, a week, and then you're going to be left with not the things that you need. Another thing that you want to make sure you stock up on is water. We do have ample water supply. So please just take into consideration, do some prayerful consideration for you and your family. Look at what it is you think you might want. Some of this stuff is expensive, some of it isn't. Some of it is very reasonable that you could just put on hand and you could use throughout the year. And you could do your rotation, and like your red beans, and we have hash browns here, we have sliced potatoes. You could use that all year round and just keep rotating your stock, and this stuff is pretty good stuff, and so I would recommend it. But anyway, again, is there a food shortage coming? I have no idea. I just ask that, again, you prayerfully consider for you and your family, and that you do make sure that you can get prepared for anything that may come your way. Thank you for watching. We're going to get ready to start our gardening videos soon, so you might want to stay tuned and go out there and get ready to garden. Get your seeds on hand. We buy our seeds from Everwild and from Baker Heirloom, and you want to start tilling up your ground and getting it ready to plant. These are all things that you can do to help sustain your family and become self-sustainable in the event of any kind of tragedy or emergency. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care. God bless, and we'll see you soon.